My Dandavat Pranam, all the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math members. This is Avadut Maharaj. I'm at the moment in the United States in one of my project tours, and I would like to say a few words about existing situation in India. Those who have seen my previous videos regarding situation in India, thank you so much for appreciation of what I've been trying to deliver to you as a global international Chaitanya Saraswat Math community. At this point, some devotees asking me questions, what is going on with Indian situation, and I'd like to say very few words about that. First of all, I spoke with Janardhan Maharaj before he went to India, and he told me that he's coming there to support Nireha Maharaj, who is disciple of Srila Acharya Maharaj, and his goal is to help Indian mission to bring peace and spiritual life back into our mat. So I've been in India for 6 months. Before that, I give him some report of situation, and of course, some of the things were quite confidential. I can't broadcast them to all the community due to legal situation, but it was obvious that at this point in India, we have different parties trying to compete mainly for our properties. I wouldn't say they're competing for spiritual life and preaching, because at this point, we can understand that our properties, which is great assets, are incredible rental assets for those who can use them, and primarily they can maintain them as deity worship and certain rituals and certain kirtan and possible preaching. But mainly what we can understand, Indian mission right now is fighting for the properties. And this is very misfortunate, because Srila Govinda Maharaj gave us different understanding what spiritual life is, but we have to accept what reality is. So it's pretty much, I would say, material competition for material resources. And on this scale, establishing Nireha Maharaj identity is good, because we know he's a sincere devotee. He's trying to represent his guru. As far as his qualification, I'm not very sure, because I don't think he speaks English. I don't think he deeply knows our Siddhanta. So I wouldn't say that he is the Acharya from ideal point of view of situation from our world mission. So I don't think Janardhan Maharaj and Asha Maharaj is willing to put his pictures on his altar. But as far as giving him a chance to start preaching in India and bring some new flow into the mission, I think that might be a good idea. Of course, my personal spiritual understanding of situation is Srila Govinda Maharaj been trained by Srila Sridhar Maharaj for over 40 years, and then at the very last part of his life, he could be designated as a world Acharya, although he was recognized as a successor at a very early age. But it took a long time for Srila Guru Maharaj to train him and appoint him as a final successor. So in this condition, I would say that might look to me a little prematurely what happened, because if you just nominate it, it doesn't mean that you have all the qualities and qualifications, but at the same time, that might be great credit, which Srila Janardhan Maharaj and Asha Maharaj believe they gave to Nireha Maharaj. And I think mainly it's for certain Indian group of people that outside of India. And I think it's mainly done for certain Latin American people, because obviously neither Russian or other missions are not part of that inauguration process, what I would say. So in this case, I would say it's good news, and we have to be positive. We have to look positively at things. We have to hope that Nireha Maharaj finally will learn our philosophy, will start preaching, will stay in touch with Janardhan Maharaj and Asha Maharaj, and under their divine guidance will grow into someone that we want to see him as a successful Indian leader, maybe global leader, we don't know. In our Russian mission, we have many of my God brothers step forward and become leaderships like Hrishikesh Maharaj, Madhusudan Maharaj, Dandi Maharaj, Prithu Prabhu, Makanchor Prabhu, and many others. So they're showing very good qualities of preachers and responsible leaders. And so why not? Why not in India? Why not in other parts of our mission? So as we know, Srila Acharya Maharaj, he gave also certain of God brothers and even senior people a sannyas, and it's been work for most of them well so far. As far as what the Acharya situation is, I'd like to say a few words that we are not very much into agreement because we have different points of views. Like my points of views, we should continue as an ISKCON, keeping Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj in the center, and all other acharyas, I would say, that are mainly, just like ISKCON gurus, are not considered to be equal in Guru Parampara as, you know, as our Srila Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I think ISKCON show that having Prabhupada in the center has been very successful for ISKCON development, and all other gurus are Prabhupada subordinate, and there's no one equal or close to Prabhupada. So in this regard, I would say Srila Sridhar Maharaj as our main spiritual Siddhantic genius and giver of Rupanuga line, and Srila Govinda Maharaj is someone who distributed this all over the world with his great heart. In other words, just like Gauranga and Nityananda, one is giving the divine love and one is distributing the divine love. So in this case, I would say we have many, many great Vaishnavas in our mission, such as Goswami Maharaj, Madhusudan Maharaj, and others. And of course, we can admire them, and in the course of time, they will maybe take that particular position in our Guru Parampara. But at this very present moment, I think we should be more focused on Guru Maharaj's teaching and Siddhanta and Srila Govinda Maharaj's approach to it. In other words, the highest spiritual knowledge with the greatest and most magnificent heart. So that would be our overall strategy, which we as members of Russian-Ukrainian mission trying to follow, and we've been successful so far. As far as myself, I consider myself an organizer, just like producer. That's my real work in my real world as a producer. So in spiritual world, I'd like to be known as a spiritual producer, someone who's brought these ideas or published the books or done these things. And I don't think it's a, you know, it's a small job. I think it's a good job, and it's a very grateful job. So, but for somebody who see me as a spiritual master, they have another vision, another point of view, that's also fine, because we have to believe in devotees. But in order to continue, at least in our mission that are been entrusted with me, I would say we will continue in this particular mood. We'll stay in touch with all the other acharyas and in a consulting form. I don't think we have a very unified organization as Acharya board, because in this very unified organization, you have to come up with solutions and, you know, just like GBC, you know, resolutions, etc. That's never been successful so far. We've never been able to come up with some kind of clear resolution. But we all united on the same page that we want to save our Indian mission and make our Indian mission successful. And we have many great devotees that supporting Indian mission, like, you know, Sandeep Prabhu Vrindavan, and some of the Western devotees stay, like Keshavananda and Naveen and Uma, and, you know, other Indian devotees that incredible, like Kanal Lal, they're serving our Indian mission selflessly, spiritually, not for any material benefit. So we do have some great Indian people that we want to raise to a position of leadership. We also want to start preaching in India. Hopefully we'll get connection with a new crowd, new generation of Indian people that are, like everywhere else, an awakening moment at the moment in this new world-changing situation. And of course, you know, we want to preserve and keep what has been already developed in our countries worldwide, but specifically I'm speaking about Russia and Ukraine, although there's war between Russia and Ukraine. But obviously the devotees are keeping in the same divine family. And as far as our group, we have a particular group of people, like they consider themselves senior devotees. And really, they're not very senior in terms of spiritual experience. They're just being age, 20, 30 years in India, and, they're asking what's going on, what happened. Obviously, they are our God brothers and our God sisters, but I don't think we really want to politicize everything, because if we just go to politicize everything we do, it's just become, politics. So I say, we don't have time to politics. If somebody wants to help and step forward, that's another story. So supposedly, some of you who have an ideas, how to do things better, how to do things in a more understandable and, maybe modern way, should step forward and take responsibilities. And that's always great. So if somebody wants to say, hey, I want to preach and, glorify my guru, that's wonderful. Remember, Prabhupada was not very active member of Gaudiya Math from point of view leadership. He was quite unknown as a Grihastha person, but he decided to dedicate his life to Guru, step forward and create miracle. So, of course, it's a divine will, but we know that some of the devotees that's watching right now and maybe are not so happy with what's going on. So why don't you guys become preachers or go to India, try to help Nirehi Maharaj, or try to preach to new people in India, and and then maybe that situation will reverse something. To tell you honestly, I try so many things. I try to talk with senior devotees, with junior devotees, with Indian devotees, and what I discover is very interesting is that what is that I can personally do for satisfaction of Gurudev and mission, because I really have to calculate and see and criticize what other people do, but on the end of the story, I can't really change myself by criticizing others. So my personal thinking, my personal challenge, how can I change myself? What is my personal service to Srila Gurudev? What other people do, whatever they do, they might have reason for it. So, or maybe their own personal reason, or material reason, or spiritual reason. I cannot really define that. So, my Dandavat Pranam to everybody else. I hope this 12-minute video is a news and inspiration and an answer for some of your questions, or maybe we'll create some of the more questions. I'd be happy to, discuss things, because it's reality cannot be discussed in 12 minutes. But I hope this video reached you in a good spirit. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, and I hope you are actively participate in our global community and inspire devotees. I also would like to say that, many people told me, well, Avadut Maharaj, why you're not preaching in English? Why are you not preaching in English? First of all, I do preach in English, but I don't have an English sources of distribution. So probably I will start some of my English preaching programs very soon, but I hope that some of you will step forward and say, hey, I want to help with social media. I want to distribute this information, because technically speaking, I really want to inspire new people as well as myself. I don't want to go into the politics and try to be, left and right and disturb somebody. My personal inspiration is Krishna consciousness. I want to learn more about Krishna consciousness. I want to practice Krishna consciousness with those who are same-hearted, same-minded people. And I want to try to avoid participations in things where I have no direct influence or presence. I'm saying I can't go to India and change things. I can only preach in India, and if I get the guys that will willing to collaborate with me and willing to do what I would say under my directions, then I can change things. So please forgive me any of the offenses. I didn't mean to offend anyone with this short video. I really wish Nirehi Maharaj a successful spiritual journey, as well as want to keep having blessings of Ashur Maharaj and Janardhan Maharaj. I understand they're doing this out of necessity, and I can just tell you it's not a secret. For instance, we have Shanta Maharaj, who declared himself as the Acharya of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And first of all, Shanta Maharaj I don't think he's a palatable person. He doesn't speak very well of senior Vaishnavas. He criticized them, which I don't think is a good thing. Second of all, I think he's definitely a qualified person, but not for the Acharya of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. He's a qualified preacher in his scientific field, where he was preaching most time with Swarup Damodar Institute in Puri Maharaj. And I think if he would just, take one temple, become guru of one temple, and explore that whole realm of people, him and Muni Maharaj, it would be so much great for our mission. But as far as claiming, now I'm the guru of all Chaitanya Saraswat Math, please install my pictures on the altar. Guys, I don't think it's first of all, I don't think it's humble. Second of all, I don't think it's true. Nobody buys that. It just shows you that you're ambitious for mundane pratishta, the power and prestige. So it will really take you down instead of raising you up. So, but I understand, Janardhan Maharaj, National Maharaj want to say, hey, you know what? There is a guy who are a simple guy, maybe more simple than you, but he's been faithful follower of Acharya Maharaj. So, we're going to raise him up. So that's what really is going on. So they're trying to do something alternative to India, which I don't think is a bad idea. I just pray and hope that things will get better. And like I told you, my opinion is different. I have different understanding, but I can't go to senior Vaishnavas and tell them what to do. They're much more qualified than me. They're much more experienced than me. I'm a very junior person compared to them. So, for me to judge my senior Guru Varga, because they're godbrothers of, they're disciples of Prabhupada, would be very arrogant, and I would not deliver any good to our mission. So please forgive me if I said something direct and something wrong, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and looking forward to your comment. Thank you so much.